Hi all, welcome to this tutorial on Class 10 IT 402. In this video, I am explaining about Unit 2 Electronic Spreadsheet Advanced using LibreOffice Calc. Make sure to watch this video till the end. I will be explaining and describing each line from the textbook, covering textbook questions and highlighting other important questions. So every minute is worth your time. If you watch this full video, you will be fully prepared to score full marks in Unit 2. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So we can move to Unit 2. This is Unit 2 Electronic Spreadsheet Advanced using LibreOffice Calc. First one is Analyze data using scenarios and goal seek. Analyzing data is the process to extract useful information for making effective decisions. This spreadsheet is one of the best software used for data analysis. So the example of spreadsheet is this one: LibreOffice Calc, Google Sheet, Excel. Everything is example of spreadsheet. It is used to retrieve, correlate, explore and visualize data to identify patterns, trends and relationships. This spreadsheet component in LibreOffice, known as Calc, includes several tools used to manipulate the data in the spreadsheet. So, this is the LibreOffice Calc. You can analyze the data and interpret the results from it. In this chapter, you will learn to analyze data using LibreOffice Calc. First one is about consolidating data. Consolidate is a function used to combine information from multiple sheets of the spreadsheet into one place to summarize the information. So in this one, LibreOffice Calc, there are multiple sheets. This is sheet 1, this is another sheet, like that. There are several sheets. So consolidation means we are combining information from multiple sheets of the spreadsheet into one place to summarize the information. Suppose we want to see the sum of marks in 2 sheets, we can combine into another sheet. We are consolidating that one. It is used to view and compare variety of data in a single spreadsheet for identifying trends and relationships. There are specific rules to check this one. You need to check the following before consolidating data. Open each sheet in the spreadsheet and check that the data types must match which you want to consolidate. Data types means this one, numbers, means suppose we are recording the marks in numbers. Suppose the subject, it is text, right? English, maths, like that we have to record. So it is a string. That is known as data types. This one, string, numbers, everything is data type. That should match in the each sheet which you want to consolidate. Next one, match the labels from all the sheets which are used for consolidating. Enter the first column as the primary column on the basis of which the data is to be consolidated. Next is the steps to consolidate the data are as follows. First one, open the spreadsheet which has the data to be consolidated. if you want more details about this consolidation, I have already done a video. If you want how practically it can be done, you can check that video in my playlist. So here in step 1, open the spreadsheet which has the data to be consolidated. Suppose this one. So in this, actually I have recorded some marks for the periodic test 1 for physics, chemistry, biology. In this one, in this sheet, this is another sheet, I have recorded another marks for periodic test 2. So these are the 2 sheets in LibreOffice Calc. So this is the first step. Open the spreadsheet which has the data to be consolidated. Next, create a new sheet where the data has to be consolidated. Suppose we want to consolidate, we want to see the sum of marks in physics in PT1 and PT2 in this sheet. Okay, so what we have to do? Next, choose data consolidate option that will open consolidate dialog as shown in figure 4.1. This one I have already done. I will show you. Suppose we want to see the sum of this one and this one. Okay, so go to this sheet and go to data. Then what we have to take? Consolidate. So here we have to select sum. Okay, so we have to, here we have to select the source data range, means we have to select the sheet here, and then here we have to give add button, then click here and we have to select this much spaces and again click add. Then in this, if you want, I already told you, if you want how practically it can be done, please go and watch the video in my playlist, consolidation video. I have already explained in that video everything how we can do this one. So this one here, observe that the default function sum is seen in the function drop down. You will be able to see the list of functions as shown in this figure by clicking on the function drop down. That means what is telling here, we are going data, we had to, so you can expect one question, how we can consolidate data. From menu we had to go to the data, then press consolidate, then this is the functions. Okay, we can see the sum, count, average, max, min, product, count, all these functions we can perform using consolidate. Can we perform percentage using this one? No. So there is one question in this. Suppose they will give some options, maybe some other functions which is not listed here also will be there. Then they will ask, can we consolidate using this one, like that. Maybe in option A sum is there, count is there, average is there. Then next option maybe percentage is there. So which we cannot perform in consolidate is percentage. That is the answer. Okay. One other question you can expect is, what is the default function when we are taking data consolidate? That is also an important one. Every time this sum is the default function when we are opening the consolidate. That is telling here, the default function sum is seen in the function drop down. You will be able to see the list of functions shown in this one by clicking on the function drop down. I have already shown this one. Then choose the required function from the drop down list. That means here we choose the which function we want, we can choose that one. So next one, the sources data range list contains existing named ranges to quickly select from that. But if the source range is undefined, then click and select the range from the sheet which is to be consolidated. That means I will show you. In this sheet, suppose I am going to find the maximum mark, okay, or maximum mark got in PT1 and PT2. In suppose in physics, in PT1 or in PT2, where the student got the maximum mark, that I am going to find, okay. So data, then what we had to take, data, then consolidate, here take maximum, then no need of this one, the source data range, click here and this one, okay, add. Then what is the next one? This step is telling here, okay, this one. Then next one is click on add to add the range under the consolidation ranges of the consolidation dialog. This one actually I have already done this one. For the next one, PT2, just select this one, again click add. Okay, repeat steps 6 and 7 to add more sheets to be consolidated. Remember to check the target range specified under use copy results to. If it is not mentioned, then click on the cell of sheet where the final data has to be produced. That means this one, where you want to get the final result. So I want to get in sheet 1, then this one, okay, see, it came like this. Then press OK. See, here physics 45 only, here in this sheet 50 is there. So maximum mark we got 50, right? Like that. So this one. So click on options. That will list two checkbox under consolidate by row labels and column labels. I will show you. This one, data, consolidate. See this one, options. See, there are two options, consolidate by and options other. And link to source data under option. See this one, link to source data. From this, you can select the additional features as per requirement. The option consolidate by rows and columns are checked to consolidate data as per row labels and column label. Link to source data is checked to mark the modification automatically in the consolidated sheet while making any changes in the source data. Here, suppose we are changing the mark of physics in PT1. So this sheet has to automatically change the maximum mark also, right? For that, we had to check this one, this link to source data. Then only it will automatically change. Okay, I will show you. Here in this one, suppose I am making this 55. Okay, now which is the maximum mark? In sheet 1, 55 is the maximum mark, right? So, see, in physics, see, it came 55 is the maximum mark. So, this is the options. Link to source data. Finally, click on OK button. So, all these are the steps to consolidate data in electronic spreadsheet. Next one. Next one is groups and subtotals. Group and outline in Calc is used to create an outline of the selected data and can be grouped rows and columns together so that one can collapse to hide it or expand it using a single click on it. I have already done that one. I will show you. This one, groups and subtotal. See here in this case, fruits are the apples and banana. Then two vegetables are there, carrot and tomato. This is coming under vegetable category. This is coming under fruits category. See in this sheet, I have done that one, groups. So see this one, fruit. See, we can expand and collapse like this. This one. Select the data to be grouped. Click on data, group and outline. How I have done that one? I have done that one using this one. What we had to do? Go to data. Here I have got the first go here and next what? Group and outline. Click here. Okay. Data, group and outline. Then choose rows to group the data on the basis of rows or columns to group it on the basis of columns. This one also I have done a detailed practical example. So please go and check that one in my playlist, groups and subtotals. Then you will get more idea about this one. This subtotal tool in Calc creates the group automatically and applies common functions like sum, average on the grouped data. So, the subtotal tool in Calc creates the group automatically and applies common functions like sum, average on the grouped data. In this section, you can expect one question. Which tool in Calc creates the group automatically? What is the answer? Subtotal tool. Okay. The subtotal tool in Calc creates the group automatically and applies common functions like sum, average on the grouped data. One can use any type of summary function for each column as per the requirement of data analysis. It can group subtotals by using category and sorts them in ascending or descending order so that one need not to use filters. We can order it, means big to small, small to big, like that. Ascending means small to big. Descending means big to small, like that we can order. Follow the follow the following steps to apply subtotal tool. These are the steps. The sheet where this is to be applied must have labels to the column. That means here we need these are the labels. Okay. Click on data menu and choose subtotals. Means what we had to choose? Data. If we want to, here I have already done, I will just show you. Here click on the data, then what we had to click? Subtotals. See, these are the groups. Here we have three labels: product category, product name, quantity. We can group by anything. So suppose we are grouping by product category, then select that one. Okay. Next, suppose we are grouping by quantity, then click this one, quantity. Then what function we want to use? We need sum of the quantities grouped by the product category. So click sum and press OK. This one actually I have already done, so that's why I am not pressing OK. See this one, right? This one, sum, we already got that one. Sum of fruits here, sum of vegetables here, grand total is here. If I collapse this one, then we will get fruit sum, vegetable sum, then grand sum. Okay. So this one I already explained, I will read. Choose the column in the group by list in the subtotal dialog, which is to be used for grouping the data in the sheet. Select the column by clicking the checkbox under Calculate Subtotals for to create subtotals for. Select the desired function by clicking the function under Use Functions. You can use the second group and third group tabs to group the data in further levels. Then click on OK. I will again show you these steps. Okay, so what we had to do? We had to go data, then subtotals, select the group by, and select here calculate subtotal for what quantity, then which function you want, that also you select, then press OK. These are the steps to calculate the groups and subtotals. This one also you can find detailed video in my playlist. So please go and watch that one. You will get more idea about this one. An important question is in this is the dash tool in Calc creates the group automatically and applies common functions like sum average on the group data. That is subtotal tool. So next, here observe that outline to the left of the row numbers which is inserted after performing the subtotal tool. This outline shows the hierarchical structure which can be used to show or hide different levels by clicking on the group indicators, plus sign to expand and minus sign to collapse the data. I will show you this part. That means this one. This one, expand and collapse. So you can hide the low level details and just look at the final totals and grand total like this. So this is the detailed one. If you collapse this, then only the group wise total will show. If you want to remove the outline feature from the sheet at any point of time, then it is possible by just clicking on Data, Group, Outline, Remove Outline. So if we want to remove, then Data, then Group and Outlines, and see Remove Outline. Then we can remove this one. Next one is what if scenarios. What if scenario is a set of values that can be used within the calculations in the spreadsheet. A name is given to the scenario and several scenarios can be created on the same sheet. We can create several scenarios in the same sheet. It is used to explore and compare various alternatives depending on changing conditions. we can change the conditions and we can compare the data. It can be used in the beginning of any project to optimize the output. This tool is used to predict the output while changing the inputs, which reflects the output, and thus one can choose the best plan of action based on it. There is a hidden question in this. Which tool is used to predict the output while changing the inputs? Which tool? This one. What if scenarios? Okay. What if scenario tool is used to predict the output while changing the inputs, which reflects the output, and thus one can choose the best plan of action based on it. For example, a person who is taking car loan has to decide on certain factors as given below. The number of years for which the car loan is taken, the total amount of car loan. The above two factors, that is principal amount is this one, total amount, and number of years, can be displayed the EMI to be paid monthly. That means this EMI is calculating based on the principal amount and number of years. So one can make different scenarios. Suppose if the principal amount is 2000 and year is 5, then what should be the monthly EMI? But that is one scenario. Then another one, year may be 10 year and the principal amount is 1000, then what is the EMI? Like that, different scenarios we can create. These are the steps. Follow the following steps to create scenario. Select the cells which contain values in the sheet that needs to be changed. To select multiple cells, hold Ctrl key and click on the cell to be selected. Choose Tools, then Scenarios. Will open Scenario dialog window. In menu, we can go to Tools, then Scenario. Where we had to go? We had to go Scenarios. Tools, then which one? Scenario. Tools, Scenarios will open Scenario dialog window. Then enter the name for the new scenario and leave the other fields unchanged. Click on OK button. This will create a new scenario which is activated automatically. So we had to go to Tools and Scenario. That means here go to Tools, then Scenario. This is now disabled because I haven't selected any cells. That's why it is disabled. If we select any cells, then it will be enabled and we can able to select that one. So these are the steps for what if scenario. Next I am going to discuss about what if analysis tool. What if tool uses data multiple operations and is a planning tool for what if questions. That means for doing this what if analysis tool, in menu we have to take data and take multiple operations. In this, the output is not shown in the same cells, whereas it uses a drop-down list to display the output depending upon the input. The multiple operations tool creates a formula array to display the list of results, applying the formula on a list of alternative values used in the formula. I will show you how to do this. This tool uses two arrays of cells. One array contains the input values and the second array uses the formula and display the result. This is very important. That means this what if analysis tool uses how many arrays of cells? 2 arrays of cells. One array contains the input values and the second array uses the formula and display the result. It is useful to check in the beginning to understand from the output for the efficiency. What if analysis tool is very helpful when we want to know how much profit we earn for a particular product for a series of selling units. Following steps are used for what if analysis tool. That means in this here I have recorded some data. So for doing this what if analysis we have to go to data, then we have to take this one, multiple operations. These are the steps. Let us calculate with one formula and one variable. First one, enter the data in the cells and then enter a formula to calculate a result from values in other cells. That means we have to enter the data and enter a formula. That is, this formula is calculating the result from the values in other cells. So here in this actually I have given item as pen, quantity 1 means that is 1 pen, and the price for 1 pen is 10, and I am calculating the total price. Here see I am using a formula. That means this one into this is actually B2 multiplied by this one B3. Here I have given the formula and I got the result. So next one, so this is the first step. Next, create an array of input values. Array means list of input values on the basis of which the output is to be generated using the formula. We have to create an array of input values. That means here suppose we want to see the total price for 2 pen. Here I want to check the total price for 4 pens. Here suppose 5 pen. Okay. So this is my list of array. So this step also done. Next, select the cell range of input array and output array. Means this is the output. So here I want to get the output. So here we have to select this one. Okay, like this. So this one, select the cell range of input array and output array. Next, click on data multiple operations. Will display the multiple operations dialog window. I will show you this one. So this one I already selected, right, from here to here. This is the input array. This is the output array. So select that one and go to data, then multiple operations. So this is the multiple operations dialog box. So next, enter the cell address in the formulas box from the sheet which contains the formula. That means, see, this is the formulas. So where we have given the formula? Here, right? So press this one. So this B4 came here. Next one contains the formula. It's done. Step 5 done. Then step 6. Now enter the cell address of the cell which is a variable and is used in the formula in column input cell box. here this one column input cell is actually we are going to find out regarding the quantity. So here press this one. Okay, next press here, next one, this one also done. Next click on OK. Will generate all the possible outputs based on the formula. So next press OK. So this is actually here we had to give something. This is actually variable name. We can give total price. So see, we got here for 2 pen we got 20 because price is 20, right? We got 20. For the 4 pens we got the total price 40. For 5 pens we have got the total price 50. This is what if analysis. So I hope you understood this one. If you have any doubt, then go and check in my playlist. I have already done a detailed video of this one. So the important part in this is, in order to take the what if analysis tool, in menu go to data and multiple operations. One other thing is this tool uses how many array of cells? Two arrays of cells. One array contains what? Input values, and the second array uses the formula and display the result. This is very important. So next one is goal seek. In general, we will fill in the values in the cells and then create formula on these values to get the required result. To predict the output, we keep on changing all the input values to obtain the desired output. Normally we are doing like that. We will give some inputs and we will get the corresponding output. Normally we are doing like that, but this goal seek helps in finding out the input for the specific output. This is very important. Goal seek helps in finding out the input for the specific output. For example, if you want to know the number of units produced to get the desired output, then use goal seek analysis tool. Follow the following steps to use goal seek tool. Step 1 is first enter the values in the worksheet. First enter the values, then write the formula in the cell where the calculation has to be used. We had to write a formula. Next one, place the cursor in the formula cell and choose Tools Goal Seek. We had to place the mouse in the formula cell. Then go to menu and take Tools and select Goal Seek. Then you will get a dialog window. The Goal Seek dialog window will appear like this. The formula cell box will have the correct formula. Then in the formula cell, just select that formula. Where we have given the formula, select that cell. Then place the cursor on the variable cell box and click on the cell that contains the value to be changed. Enter the desired result in the target value box. Click on OK button. This is about goal seek. This one also I have done a detailed practical video. So if you have any doubt in this, you can go and check in my playlist. Then it will be very clear for you. So the one important thing in this goal seek is This goal seek helps in finding out input, okay, for the specific output. That means suppose we want to know how much mark we have to get in one particular subject in order to get average mark of 70. So we will get target as 70, and we will, by using the goal seek, we will find out how much mark you have to get in one particular subject, like that. That is the use of this goal seek. Next is, I am going to explain this one. Multiple choice questions. Which of the following feature is not used for data analysis in spreadsheet? Here, consolidating data, goal seek, subtotal, and page layout. So this one, consolidating data, goal seek, and subtotal, everything we are using for data analysis, but this page layout we are not using for data analysis. Okay, for data analysis we are using consolidating data, what if scenario, what if analysis, goals, subtotal, everything we are using for data analysis, but page layout we are not using for data analysis. So the answer is page layout. Next one, which of the following office tool is known for data analysis? Which office tool we are using for data analysis? We are using this one, Calc. Okay, this one. This is LibreOffice Calc. We are using this one for data analysis. So the answer is B, this one. Next one, which of the following operations cannot be performed using LibreOffice Calc? Question is, which of the following operations cannot be performed using LibreOffice Calc? First one is store and manipulate data, create graphical representation of data, analysis of data, and last one is mail merge. The answer is mail merge. This mail merge cannot be performed using this LibreOffice Calc. All the other three options we can perform using LibreOffice Calc. Next one is, what is the extension of spreadsheet file in Calc? The answer is .ods. Extension means while we are saving, what is coming here? .ods, right? This is the answer. So .ods in LibreOffice Calc. Okay, which one is ODS? Next one, the default function while using consolidate is, I told you, right? When we are using consolidate, the default function is always sum. Okay, so the answer is B, sum. The default function while using consolidate is sum. Next one, group by is used in dash tool to apply summary functions on columns. The answer is subtotal tool. In subtotal tool we are using group by. Okay, we can find the subtotal by using the group by option. Don't get confused with this one. Okay, the answer is subtotal tool. This group by is used in subtotal tool to apply summary functions on columns. Next one, which tool is used to predict the output while changing the input? You have to read the questions very carefully. Which tool is used to predict the output while changing the input. That is, answer is what if scenario. Okay. Which of the following is an example for absolute cell referencing? Absolute cell referencing is, answer is this one. That means first you have to put one dollar symbol, then this one is the, this one, suppose this one, see, right, this is 5, right? So this is actually dollar C, then $5. So which of the following is an example for absolute cell referencing? This is the answer. Okay, absolute cell referencing. Dash analysis tool works in reverse order. That means finding input based on the output. The answer is goal seek. See, read this question. This one, which tool is used to predict the output while changing the input? The answer is what if scenario. In this case, dash analysis tool works in reverse order. That means in goal seek, finding what? Input. Okay, we are finding the input based on the output. The answer is goal seek. Next one, state whether the following statements are true or false. Consolidate function is used to combine information from two or more sheets into one. The answer is true, right? Yes. Next one, consolidate function cannot be used to view and compare data. This is false. Next one, link to source data is checked updates the target sheet if any changes made in the source data. That is actually true. We have to give tick mark on link to source data. Then only if we make any change in the input, it will automatically update in the output. So the answer is true. Next, using subtotal in Cal needs to use filter data for sorting. This is actually false. Okay, using subtotal in Cal needs to use filter data for sorting. This is actually false. Next one, subtotal tool can use only one type of summary function for all columns. That is also false. Next one, only one scenario can be created for one sheet. False. Next one, what if analysis tool uses one array of cells? This is actually false. I told you, right? What if analysis tool uses how many array of cells? 2 array of cells. Next one, goal seek analysis tool is used while calculating the output depending on the input. This is also false. Actually, goal seek means analysis tool finding the input based on the output. Next one, ninth one, the output of what if tool is displayed in the same cell. That is also a false statement. The output is displayed in the next cell. That's why in what if tool we are using 2 array of cells. Next one, fill in the blanks. Consolidate function is used to combine information from multiple sheets to dash the information. Answer is summarize the information. Consolidate function is used to combine information from multiple sheets to summarize the information. Next one, data can be viewed and compared in a single sheet for identifying trends and relationships using dash function. Answer is consolidate function. Next one, dash under data menu can be used to combine information from multiple sheets into one sheet to compare data. The answer is subtotal. Next one, the dash tool in Calc creates the group automatically and applies functions on the grouped data. Answer is again subtotal. Next one, dash scenario is used to explore and compare various alternatives depending on changing conditions. That is, answer is what if scenario. What if scenario is used to explore and compare various alternatives depending on changing conditions. Next one, dash is a planning tool for what if questions. Answer is what if tool. What if tool is a planning tool for what if questions. Seventh one, what if analysis tool uses dash array of cells. One array contains input values and the second uses the dash. I already told you what if analysis tool uses how many array of cells? 2 array of cells. One array what? Input values, and the second one uses the formula and display the output. Okay. What if analysis tool uses 2 array of cells. One array contains input values and the second uses the formula and display output. Eighth question, dash helps in finding out the input for the specific output. What is the answer? Goal seek. We already told. Goal seek helps in finding out the input for the specific output. Don't confuse this one, okay, with what if scenario. Goal seek means goal seek helps in finding out input for the specific output. Next one is chapter 5, using macros in spreadsheet. This is chapter 5 coming under unit 2. Here many times we had to perform repeated tasks such as typing school name, address, contact numbers with a specific formatting, or apply the same formula at a particular cell or different sheets in a worksheet. How easy would it be if we could get this done at a click of a button? This will ensure that we maintain the standardization in terms of font style without any typing mistake. Can you think of any other advantage? In this chapter, you will learn how to use a macro to automate repeated tasks that are always performed in the same way over and over again. That means macro means we are using this macro to automate repeated tasks that are always performed in the same way over and over again. First one is recording a macro. Actually, the macro, what is macro? A macro is a single instruction that executes a set of instructions. What is macro? It is a single instruction that executes a set of instructions. We will write a set of instruction and we will executing one single instruction. Then that will execute all the set of instruction written inside this one. So the definition of macro is a single instruction that executes a set of instructions. These set of instructions can be a sequence of commands or keystrokes that can be used for any number of times later. This is also important. set of instructions of macro can be what? A sequence of commands or keystrokes. Okay. The set of instructions in macro can be a sequence of commands or keystrokes that can be used for any number of times later. A sequence of actions such as keystrokes and clicks can be recorded and then run as per the requirement. It is important to know that by default the macro recording feature is turned off when LibreOffice is installed on your computer. This is also important. It is important to that means by default when we are installing the LibreOffice, by default this macro recording feature that will be in off state. Okay, we had to on that one. So it is important to know that by default the macro recording feature is turned off when LibreOffice is installed on your computer. Hence, to record a macro, ensure that the macro recording is enabled. That means we had to enable that feature. Then only we can use the macro. Macro recording can be enabled using the Tools option on the main menu bar by selecting Tools, Options, LibreOffice, Advanced. I will show you. Here where we had to go, I will take one new file. Okay, I will take the new file. Here actually what we had to do, we had to go to Tools. Where is Tools? Here. Tools, then what next? Tools, Options, then LibreOffice, then Advanced. Okay, Tools, Options, LibreOffice, Advanced. So Tools, then next what? Options, see next what? LibreOffice, see Advanced. Okay, so see next one is observe the optional features. There are two options which are not check marked. Put the check mark on the options enable macro recordings. Okay, that means here we had to enable this one, enable macro recordings. Then click on apply, then okay. Okay, this part is over. So here now when we go and check Tools, macro is visible, then check Tools, then macros will be there. See here, now we can, this one record macro option is there. Okay, by default we cannot able to find this one. Now we have already enabled it. That's why only we are now able to see this one. The macro records all the keyboard and mouse actions, but the following actions are not recorded. Actually, this macro records all the keyboard and mouse actions it will record, but it cannot record the following actions. That means opening of windows. If we open a new window, then it will not record in that macro. Actions carried out in another window than where the recording was started. Next one, window switching. That means we are taking another window. Then it will not record that one. We cannot able to understand. We are taking the other window. Next, actions that are not related to the spreadsheet contents. For example, changes made in the options dialog, macro organizer, customizing. Next one, selections are recorded only if they are done by using the keyboard, but not when the mouse is used. That means if you want to record this one selection, then you have to use the keyboard selection. Okay, if you are selecting using mouse, then it will not record in the macro. This is also important. Selections are recorded only if they are done by using keyboard. That means cursor traveling, but not when the mouse is used. The macro recorder works only in Calc and Writer. That means this macro recorder, this one works in LibreOffice Calc and Writer. So I think this is clear for you. Next one, follow the steps given below to record a macro. First one, click on Tools Macro, then click on the Record Macro options. That means like this, nothing. Record Tools, then Macro, then click this one, Record Macro. So now start taking actions that will be recorded. Then this one will start recording what we are doing. Once you click on Record Macro option, recording of action starts and a small alert will be displayed as shown in this figure. Click on Stop Recording button will stop the recording of actions. If we start the macro recording, we can see like this. If we want to stop, just click on the Stop Recording. Next one, this will open the basic macros dialog window to save and run the created macro. To save the macro, first select the object where you want the macro to be saved in the Save Macro to List box. The name of the macro by default is main. Actually, by default, the name of the macro is main and is saved in the standard library in module 1. So, this part is also very important. The name of the macro by default is main and is saved in which library? Standard library in module 1. You can change the name of the macro. If you want to change the name, by default the name is main. If you want to change the main, you can give any name. Okay, then click on save. So this is also very important. The name of the macro by default is what? Main, and it is saved in dash library, standard library in module 1. You can change the name of the macro. Click on save button. So a library is a collection of modules which in turn is a collection of macros. A library means it is a collection of what? Modules, which in turn is a collection of macros. Okay. Next one, rules for naming a macro, module or a library. There are certain rules for naming a macro. I already told you the default one is main. If you want to change, you can give any name, but there are a specific rule for naming a macro, module or a library. While naming a macro, module or a library, the name should begin with a letter. The first one, it should start with a letter. We cannot use numbers or special characters. Suppose you are giving anything. This one, the that name should first begin with a letter, not contain spaces. We cannot leave space, we cannot give space in that name. Suppose next one, not contain special characters except for underscore. We can use underscore, but we cannot use any other special characters. We cannot use any other special characters in the keyboard. We can only use the underscore. So the rules for naming a macro, module or a library is it should begin with a letter. While naming a macro, module or a library, the name should begin with a letter, not contain spaces, not contain special characters except for underscore. Next one, running a macro. Now we have already recorded a macro. Now we are going to run a macro. Let us now run the macro for another sheet which requires its heading in cell A1 to be given the same format as recorded in the format heading macro. That means in the previous one they have given the name of the macro is this one, format heading. See, the first one is start with what? Letter. There is no space or any other special characters. We can use underscore, okay? So this is the name of the macro we have given. Suppose we have given this name in this section. So to run a macro, we need to perform the following steps. Type the heading in cell A1. Next, use tools, means in menu go to tools, then macros, then run macro to open the macro selected dialog box as shown here, like this. That means here go to tools, then macros, then run macro. First one we had done is record macro, right? Next select this one, run macro. Then you will get a dialog box like this. LibreOffice Macros library is provided by LibreOffice and contains modules with pre-recorded macros and should not be changed. That means there are some pre-recorded macros. This one LibreOffice already providing some pre-recorded macros for us. We can use that one, but we are not able to modify it. We cannot change it. Okay. So which type of library LibreOffice is providing us? LibreOffice macros. This is also important. LibreOffice macros library is provided by LibreOffice and contains modules with pre-recorded macros and should not be changed. My macros contain macros that we write or add to LibreOffice. This one. My macros contain macros that we write or add to LibreOffice. That means suppose we are adding some we are recording some macros, then it will store in my macro section. Untitled one is the name of the worksheet we are working on. Since at this time we have not saved the worksheet with another name, it is showing untitled one. That means by default, what is the name of that worksheet? Untitled one. You will see further that untitled one will be replaced with the name of the spreadsheet. If we give some name, it will replace this one. We can use that name instead of this one, untitled one. Select the library and module in the library list. Select the macro in the macro name list. Click run to run the macro. So this is the steps to run a macro. Next one, creating and organizing a simple macro. Till now we have learned to record, store and run the macro. The recorded macro is internally stored as instructions written in a programming language that are executed when the macro is executed or run. That means the recorded macro is internally stored as instructions written in a programming language. That means this is also very important. How this one recorded macro is storing internally. Internally it is storing like an instruction written in a programming language that are executed when the macro is executed or run. We selected a library or module to store our recorded macro. Similarly, while creating a macro, either create a new library or module or edit an existing module stored in a library. Use the following steps to organize the macro. Click on Tools, Macros, then click on Organize Macros, then click LibreOffice Basic. To open the LibreOffice Basic macro dialog window as shown in this figure. That means here Tools, Macros, then see Organize Macros and Basic. Okay. Click on what? Basic. So LibreOffice Basic. This is also important. To organize a macro, click on Tools, Macros, then Organize Macros and use LibreOffice Basic. Very important. LibreOffice Basic. To open the LibreOffice Basic macro dialog window as shown in this figure, then we will get like this. Then click Organizer to open the Basic Macro Organizer dialog as shown in this figure. We will get a window like this. Next, create a library to store a macro. How we can create a new library to store a macro? To create a new library containing modules, click on Library, then press New. Use the following steps to create a module to store a macro. Suppose this is for creating a new library, okay? Click on Library and New. Suppose you want to create a new module to store a macro. Then choose the Modules tab and select a module and click on New to create a new module. In this section, it's actually telling how to create a library to store a macro, also a module. So, next one is macro as a function. Consider a situation wherein you need to perform calculations that are repetitive in nature. Assume that the same formula needs to be applied to different data in different sheets, and there is no predefined function for it. Okay, that means we are using the same formula in different sheets. So again and again we had to write the formula, right? In such situations, will it not be convenient if we could create a macro that performs the calculations? It will save us the effort of remembering and typing the formulas. It is possible to do so if we use macro as a function. We can write macro as a function. Instead of writing instructions in between sub and end sub, we can write instructions in between function and end function. So, if we are writing macro as a function, we had to start with function and end with end function. Okay. Otherwise, actually, it is written under sub and end sub. In function, it is writing between function and end function. A function is capable of accepting arguments or values. A function is capable of accepting arguments or values. It can perform, this is also important. A function is capable of accepting arguments or values. That means we can pass the arguments in a function. It can perform operations on the arguments, perform calculations, and then return the result. Suppose we have a function named sum and we are giving a and b. That means suppose the value of a is 10 and the value of b is 20. Then the result is we will get 30, like that. That is the function. Now this one, questions, multiple choice questions. Here macro recordings can be enabled from the dash option in the menu bar. Here tools, right? Here I already told you tools, then macro recording. Okay, so the answer is tools. Which of the following is an invalid macro name? This one. Actually, in this one, here we already learned, right? For recording a macro, we need to, this one, begin with a letter. It cannot contain spaces, not contain special characters except for underscore. Now the third one. So which of the following is an okay, actually we already know the rules. The first letter should be, first one should be a letter, there is no space, and we cannot use the special characters except underscore. Next one, which of the following libraries contains modules with pre-recorded macros and should not be changed? This is LibreOffice macros is the answer. Identify which of the following is a programming language. Answer is BASIC. In LibreOffice organizer, I told you, right, we had to select BASIC option. So this is the BASIC is a programming language. Identify which of the following is a programming language. BASIC is a programming language. The module can be executed from the IDE by pressing the F5. Next one. Which of the following is the default name of the macro? Default name of the macro is, which of the following is the default name of the macro? Here I will show you default name of the macro. Here we already, this is recording a macro, then we are saving, tools, macros, and run macros, and where is it? I will show you. Here, see, main macro is saved by default. The standard library is module 1. So the name of the macro by default is actually main. The name of the macro by default is main and is saved in the standard library in module 1. This is the default macro name. Okay, here this one, this module 1 is the library. Next one is Here next one is fill in the blanks. Dash library is automatically loaded when the document is opened. Actually, standard library is automatically loaded when the document is opened. IDE stands for IDE means Integrated Development Environment. Integrated Development Environment. Next one, macro as a function is capable of accepting dash and returning a dash. Here actually accepting what? Arguments or values. This is very important. Macro as a function means we are writing macro as a function and is capable of accepting arguments or values and returning what? Result or a value. Okay, macro as a function is capable of accepting arguments or values and returning a result or value. Next one is macro dash allows us to add, delete a module. Actually, macro organizer allows us to add, delete a module. The code of macro begins with dash followed by the name of the macro and ends with dash. Actually, the code of macro always start with what? Sub, and it end with end sub. Okay, whereas if it is a function, it will start with function and end function. Actually the code of macro begins with sub and followed by the name of the macro and ends with end sub. By default, a macro is saved in the standard library. By default, a macro is saved in the standard library. Next one, macro is a group of instructions executing a single instruction. Okay, macro is a group of instruction executing a single instruction. It is actually false. Actually the reverse one. It is a single instruction executing a group of instructions. Okay, that is also very important. Once created, macro can be used any number of times. It is true. We can use macro any number of times. By default, the macro recording feature is turned on. No, I told you, right? We have to go and turn on that one. By default, it is always turned off. When we are installing the Library Office Calc, it is turned off. We have to on it. So by default it is turned off, not turned on. So this statement is false. Next one, it is not possible to stop recording of a macro. That is also false. We can stop the recording. Every macro should be given a unique name. True. That means if we are saving the macro, we have to give a separate name for each macro. We cannot give repeated name. Everything, unique name. Every macro should be given a unique name. Means different names we have to give. Next one, a macro once created can be edited later. Yes, we can edit the macro. Okay, so this is true. Next one is chapter 6, linking spreadsheet data. Here, linking spreadsheet. That means in this chapter, we will learn how to create multiple sheets and also to link the data in multiple sheets. It can be done in two ways. One is creating a reference to other sheets or documents by using keyboard and mouse, and other is by linking external data. So we can done this in two ways. That means one is we can create a reference to other sheets or documents by using keyboard and mouse, and the other is by linking external data. First one, setting up multiple sheets. Let us consider a worksheet storing marks of the first term in a sheet named term 1 as shown in this figure. To add a new sheet in the spreadsheet, click on the add sheet by clicking on the plus sign located in the left bottom of the spreadsheet. Alternatively, you can right click anywhere on the sheet tab and select insert sheet option from the drop down list displayed in figure 6.2 like this. It gives us a choice to put the new sheet, assign the name of the sheet, delete a sheet, and so on. Note, insert sheet dialog box can be invoked from the menu sheet, insert sheet. If you want to insert a new sheet, in menu you have to go to sheet and press insert sheet. I will show you. Suppose this is one sheet, right? If you want to add a new sheet, just press this one, plus symbol, okay? You got the new sheet. If there is one more alternative is the insert sheet. So you can give a new sheet name is here like that, okay? So this is telling in this section. Okay, understood how to insert a new sheet. Next, here, yeah, we can, if we want, we can insert after a current sheet or before current sheet, like that options are there. Now, creating a reference to other sheets by using keyboard and mouse. Now, how we can creating reference to other sheets by using keyboard and mouse. We have been using what? Cell references for applying functions and formulas. In this section, we will learn how to reference cells in other sheets using mouse and keyboard. To calculate the final result, it is required to store the final marks for each subject in the sheet named result inserted in activity 6.1 by applying the formula. We know that marks obtained in term 1 and term 2 are stored in different sheets named term 1 and term 2 respectively. Here actually they are explaining with some example. Suppose you have two sheets, term 1 in one sheet, term 1 marks in one sheet and term 2 mark in another sheet. So to calculate the final marks for English, cell C4, you had to get that one. So you had to follow some rules that is explaining here. That means actually we have to first copy the roll number and name of the student from term 1 sheet to result sheet, copy all headings of and give the name as final result. All this is actually like practical example.